Hello people, back again. It's funny how some news story hits the internet and it just blows up, and this is a case of that. It's being reported by Variety in a lot of places that YouTube is reportedly has bought Twitch for over $1 billion all in cash, which is unusual, by the way. In business, most of the time, they don't buy something all in cash. Usually they have other things over time to kind of, a loophole to kind of keep the people they're buying, something over their heads, or a way to spread out the money they're spending sometimes, depending on how they want to do it. But in this case, it looks like they bought them over $1 billion all in cash. Now, it's being reported that obviously, and it makes sense to everybody, that this is the biggest acquisition YouTube's ever had. For Google, this is probably the biggest acquisition they've had since they bought Google in YouTube in 2006 for $1.65 billion. Motorola don't count. That investment hasn't really turned out. But Twitch has a built-in audience. Twitch has a built-in people who live stream. It doesn't make sense in one aspect that they're doing this, and the fact that a lot of times business buys something they want instead of building it from the ground up. In this case, Google built their live stream from the ground up. Obviously, a lot of things about it aren't good, not perfect. A lot of things a lot of people don't like about it. But they spent money, they built it, and then they go out and buy this. If they do buy this, this clearly means their live streaming platform that they currently have would be dead. Now, they expect the U.S. regulators to challenge this, to look really hard at this, them buying this. They're expecting the Justice Department to take a long time to decide whether they get to buy Twitch or not, because it raises serious anti-competitive issues with the online video market. I mean, to understand YouTube as a whole, serving more than 6 billion hours of video per month to 1 billion users, that, in a sense, brings up monopoly concerns. They are the king. There is nobody close. Whether you like YouTube, whether you hate YouTube, they are the king. When something big hits that has a video, you can go to YouTube and you can find it. It is there. Oh, look. Kid was saved by a cat. That's on YouTube. So that's where people go. It's become the default thing to go to. Kind of like Google is the default search. They automatically go to YouTube. Now, I know people raise the point, well, Justin TV is they're their only hope because they're competition to Twitch. Well, Justin TV is owned by the people who actually started Twitch and own Twitch, who just sold it. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in that Google contract is going to be an anti-competitive thing for a certain amount of time. And since Twitch and Justin TV are kind of, maybe Google bought both. You never know. But to understand Twitch represents 1.35% of all download stream bandwidth in North America across bandwidth networks. Nearly tripled from last fall, by the way. So this isn't for you, honestly, for Google and YouTube. That aspect, it isn't a big gain in percentage of views towards your product, but it makes a lot of sense for YouTube on so many other levels. People are going to complain about this thing on so many levels, and that's fine. I mean, we'll get to the bad things for this deal in a little bit. The problem is, people are going to say, where is Google going to make their money? Simple. Their ad platform. They get to put their ad platform on Twitch. And to be honest, a lot of people use YouTube are live streaming on Twitch. So a synergy for Google makes complete sense with YouTube and Twitch. It makes perfect sense. There's people I got people who own a YouTube account and they live stream on Twitch. Now, when you're done live streaming on Twitch, you can edit up that and you can put it on your YouTube channel. Or, here's the thing. I don't know why I said or, because here's the thing. Everybody's going to bring up copyright. That's going to be the number one thing talked about when it comes to Twitch. Oh, YouTube and the copyright machine. Twitch, if you never used it, Twitch has the option, if you check a box, where once you're done live streaming, it never saves your live stream. essentially no way copyright could affect you because there's no actual video of it. Now, you could obviously archive the video, and the videos are only around Twitch for about 2 weeks, and then they disappear. So that's how they get around the copyright situation that YouTube cannot. Now, if YouTube comes in and changes that where it's permanent, a lot of people on Twitch are going to have a bad day. This is something I've seen people like Minecraft WB and Wolf21, who are Minecrafters on YouTube, who mainly make a lot of their living off of Twitch, have talked about, and I've seen other people on Twitch talk about it, that at some point copyright's going to come to Twitch. That these people who play any music they want are going to eventually get slapped with copyright, or video, or whatever. You're eventually going to get slapped with copyright. It was just a matter of time. As Twitch got bigger, eventually the companies would come knocking, or the lawyers would come up and say, hey, you know what? You had a free ride. Now, ride's over. Those people are going to have the hard time. The people who got permission from the artist, especially a lot of them use indie artists because there's no record label. It's the artist release their own music. It's easy. You get their permission and you use your music on Twitch. That's what's going to save those people from any problems. And it would almost be, I know a lot of people talk about YouTube bringing a copyright machine to live streaming. It would almost be impossible for YouTube's analytics to monitor that much live streaming going on at one time. It is an impossibility. Why it's currently live streaming. When it's in video form, then it can obviously look at it and see what's copyrighted. But when you're talking live streaming, it is impossible for an analytics system to keep up with everything live streaming at one time. It would be virtually impossible. You would have to have a massive staff of people to do that. And YouTube is not going to, they've shown they're not going to do that kind of thing. So, that perspective of copyright, you'd be safe until it got archived, and then you'd be in trouble. Now, obviously, if someone continually kept using the music, and YouTube or anybody else kept saying, hey, your live stream, you keep using music even though you don't save it, they could still get slapped with a warning or copyright or get shut down. But you should never be using stuff you don't have permission to use in the first place, because when it comes to music or movies or anything, because that's going to get you in trouble anyway. The other interesting, what's going to happen to the subscription model on Twitch if YouTube does buy Twitch? A lot of people make their money on Twitch where they get partnered. Once you get partnered, you can set up the subscription, which is basically $5 a month. You pay a PayPal account or whatever. You pay $5 a month every month until you decide to stop to the Twitch guy you like. You just subscribe to their channel and you automatically pay him $5 a month. How's that going to affect that for those guys? And obviously donations are a big thing on Twitch. YouTube and Twitch are two different environments. YouTube, you ask for donations, you're a horrible person. Twitch, you ask for donations, it's expected because a lot of those people live stream 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And from the amount of entertainment those people watch them all the time get, they feel it's worth the value. What does the change mean for YouTube? Clearly, if this was to happen, the YouTube live streaming that they currently have would be dead. This would be the other reason why maybe they decided to unbundle Google Plus, because it would be if they were to do Google Plus on Twitch or YouTube, doing that bridge would completely probably break YouTube and Google Plus, or Google Plus and Twitch. From a business sense, for Google, buying something that's growing, that's tripled since last year, that they can put ads on, they can make money off it, makes sense. How they handle it once they get it is the most different thing. Either Twitch will continue to grow and do well, or Twitch will die. So what do you think about the fact that YouTube is reportedly going to buy Twitch, and the deal's going to be finalized soon, at any time? Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? Again, even though the deal will be announced or finalized, it can't go through all the way until U.S. regulators and U.S. Justice Department approve it. And they can drag their feet up to a year before they disapprove it if they want to. So, the fact, even though Google and YouTube announced they buy Twitch, it could be a long process. But what do you think about YouTube buying Twitch? What changes do you think it make for YouTube? What changes do you think it make for Twitch? What did that do? I mean, in some cases, if you use YouTube, you're kind of excited, but you're kind of not, right? Because you know what the YouTube these days brings to things. Love to hear you guys. Enough babbling about it for now. Love to hear you guys' opinions on the subject, and I will talk to you guys later.